Welcome everyone back to the show, the final show of the night. Thank you guys so much for the previous support you gave me with June Degiso. Um, and today we have a great friend of mine, been on my show maybe last year by the name of Cragston Hobbs. He is a director, film creator, maker. And today we're going to be talking to him and some of the people on his team that created the film A Way Out. So I'm just gonna wait for them to come on my panel so I can bring them on and we can start chatting and find out what they got going on with this film and how exciting it's going to be. So again, big shout out to all my YouTubers that watch, that tune in and come on the show. I want to thank everybody that tuned in earlier to support June on the interview. Um, Again, folks, anyone that wants to be on the Don Vic show, you're more than welcome. As long as you have a story to tell with a great ending, you're more than welcome to come here on the show. Comedian, actors, singers, rappers, celebrity boxers, book writers, authors. Everyone is here is welcome on the show. Even if you have a just a regular story to tell with a great ending, you're also more than welcome to come here on the show and talk about it. Again, uh, shout out to everyone out there that's putting in the work in the filming industry. Also, big shout out to my good friend Samara um, that just had her big event out in Hollywood at the Hilton Hotel, the luxury gala for 2025. Big shout out to her, everyone else that came out um, to the show, actually to the event. I seen some of the photos and it was amazing. I missed it this year, but hopefully, with God's willing, I can be. I'll be out there next year for the luxury gala for 2026, with God's willing. So I'm very very excited. Also, big shout out to all the paranormal investigators around the world. You guys are amazing. Um, keep doing what you're doing. You guys are phenomenal. And again, you know, big shout out to Nicole and Sean, which are working on Desert Fiends 2. I believe they start filming next month in April, so I'm excited. Also, big shout out to the Mahal brothers out in Las Vegas as well. Um, they just, I think they will be releasing their film as well, Alien Horde, which a lot of my good friend actors are in that film, including Nicole Vegas, Sean C. Phillips, and many more uh, great actors that are friend of mine are on that film. So I'm excited to watch it. It's a sci-fi film. I can't wait to see it. I was going to be a part of that as well, but my timing wasn't well. Same thing with Desert Fiends 2. My timing wasn't well. Got a lot of things going on here. Also working on my own film, as you guys know, which we're trying to get some funding for. So it's been hectic this year for me. Hopefully next year I get some room to go out and explore some more of these films. Um, Joe West, how are you? How are you? How are you? How are you? Joe West, phenomenal person. She has a show too. She's a paranormal investigator. She has a great show. Um, I was actually on her show not too long ago with my partner Denise Pounds, and we was talking about our upcoming film, Vampire Vendetta, and she gave us an opportunity to come on a show and promote the film. We're thinking of shooting 2026 if possible. You know, we're just in the campaigning um part of it and raising the money to put this film together for 2026. We do have the website up. It's called Vampires Vendetta. You guys can go there, and anything you guys can do would help. I do have some of my guests here on my panel. Kristen. Okay, and some of his buddies here. So we're gonna bring them on, and moving to Arizona next month. Okay, good luck with that one. Okay, good luck with that one. Okay, folks. So let's bring in my good friend Cragston Hobbs. Christian, how you doing, buddy?
Hey man, how are you? I've
I'm
got
good.
Brimstone and Mr. Brent Peak with me.
How you
And
doing, brother?
Doing great, man. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good at hanging in there. You got another buddy of yours. Let's bring him up here. Christian,
What's
ah,
going on, man?
what's going on, buddy? You all right?
Yes, sir. Drinking some coffee.
Oh yeah, you're all right then.
Man,
Jesus
you're my
Yeah.
Christ.
kind of guy right there. That's what I need.
Yeah, I'm jealous already. Jesus. So how you guys doing today?
good.
Doing good. Busy day for me, but I'm doing good.
Oh, awesome. Busy's a good thing, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Most of the
Yeah.
time.
Christian looks like like they kicked him out on the porch. So
I have
you're on the porch.
bunch of people inside, so yeah.
Oh, okay.
We're on the back deck too. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Awesome.
it's how it goes
So-
sometimes.
Yeah, so that's great. So tell me about a way out. That's the name of the film, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. A way out. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Go ahead.
so who? I'm sorry, it cut in and out when you said. So tell me about a way out.
Yeah. Anyone. Christian can
Directed
start.
Great.
You want me to start?
Yeah, it's fine. Whoever wants to
Oh,
start.
okay. All right. Well, A Way Out, it is a film to where we are creating awareness for domestic violence. And, I've seen a lot, and I did a lot of research on it. We are sponsored by a charity that helps women and children that are apart, therefore that has suffered from domestic violence. So our film is been endorsed by them. So that was like really great for us.
Mhm.
That made us just even work even harder on it because I was able to get the real honest truth about the horrors of domestic violence. And I was able to get into the psychology as well with like the villain who Christian plays, the character, he plays the villain. And so I was able to make a fiction story, but really put in the real grit and horror and truth of domestic violence. And through creativity, through just all of us blood, sweat, and tears, and hard work and lack of sleep.
Yeah.
Just look at Christian. He's sitting here drinking coffee.
He's still drinking
He's
coffee.
still recovering.
Still recovering.
But yeah, that's to me, that's what A Way Out is. That's
Yeah.
what I can tell you.
So what actually triggered this? Was it something that happened that made you want to write to this, or something that Christian must have, or Brimstone encountered that you guys wanted to write about it?
Well, I've always heard about it, and I have a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, Bernice Goodyear, and she's actually the SFX artist, and she played a part in it. And another lady that is in this movie as well. They, we're all friends, and we treat each other like family. And they told me their story, and I was so touched by my heart. I was like, this is something I want to take this and bring it to a movie. That's me, myself.
Okay, right.
And Brim, I know he's got, and
Okay, so Brim, what was your thought when Cragston brought this to your attention? What was running through your mind?
I think the first thing for me was just that when it comes to the movies that have been made in recent years, I don't know. I haven't seen personally a lot of light being shed on domestic violence scenarios in film recently. And now I know, there are some out there, but in recent times, I just don't feel like it's been something that's been a lot of light shed on. So I felt like this needs to be done. Like, this is going to be important to people, not just where we live or in our country, but I mean around the world.
Yeah.
And domestic violence, whether they want to call it that or not, somewhere else, it happens, and people go through it. So I'm like, why not find a very cinematic way, like he said. Obviously it's a movie, but it's still like he said, very realistic. So that for me was like, hey, this is important.
Right. I believe it's important. I believe it's important. There's always a message behind a film, and this is a great film to put out a message. Whether it's physically, mentally, or verbally, it's abuse, right? And it goes both ways for men and women. Okay, because I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen to men. So it's a great thing that you guys came up with that concept to putting this together. Christian, you're the lead role in this film. What ran through your mind when it was brought to your attention? Say, hey, you're going to play the lead role.
It was a lot. A lot of people close to me lost a good friend back in November of 2021 to domestic violence. So reading the script was really, really tough. Because of the fact that, like, I know someone who lost to it,
Right?
and just having to be the bad guy, and then like Brim said, the feeling of bringing awareness to the reality of all of it, because everything happens behind these doors.
Exactly.
So to get that aspect on it, and Creighton called me and it was like, look, man, like, you've got this. He's like, you're teachable. If it hits you that deep, like, put the foot in the door.
Right.
Don't, just having to play the bad guy. He's like, you got to get past that barrier, because, what happened to, Nina, it was tough, but it was real meaningful to be a part of something, to spread awareness on something that is a real issue.
Right. And just knowing that you lost someone to it, and now you're playing the you're playing the bad guy to it.
Yeah.
You're put in a position where you're like, man, I'm against it, but I got to play the role.
Yeah.
And you got to play it to your best ability to make it look believable. So I haven't seen the film yet, but is there any part in the film where you do get physical?
Yes, there is.
Okay.
And someone's cutting their grass. I know y'all can hear it.
I can hear it. My son's in the background just giggling, so I don't know if y'all can hear that.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
But no, it was the first physical, because I was scared of accidents happening.
Right.
Like, I was more worried about accidentally hurting her rather than her hurting me.
Right.
And getting past that barrier, because that's not how my mama raised me.
Exactly.
You don't put your hands.
I think we were all concerned.
I think we're all in that crowd
about that, but you're right. He's right.
Because see, Brim, he is the stunt coordinator.
Right.
He was the guy that was there coordinating and doing the safety measures and this and that.
Right. So Brent, so you being the coordinator of that and putting everything together, did at any point you felt like, man, I don't want to do this.
I mean, not necessarily that. It was more of a thing of let's make sure we do this in a very believable way, but we don't get anybody hurt. And for the most part, we achieve that. I mean, you know, for the most part, we did achieve that. It was tough to coordinate. It really was, because, like I said, you're in a very real situation for the story of domestic violence. You've got this man who is so much larger than this woman. Lexi she's very small. She's very petite.
I know Alexi Baca. I know who she is.
Yes, you know, extremely talented too. By the way, she did awesome. And then Christian's he's not a small guy.
You don't look small to me, and he's sitting down.
Yeah, he's tall. He's got broad shoulders.
Yeah.
So it was like, you know, definitely, obviously, you know, in a real life scenario, obviously this man could really hurt this woman.
Right.
So, you know, but the story is, you know, eventually there comes a point at the climax of the film where, you know, eventually she has to, we'll say she has to fight back, right? Okay. She has to eventually stand up for herself,
right? Which
ultimately, for me, that is the message I took away from making this movie is at some point, hopefully, people that are experiencing domestic violence and experiencing that abuse can eventually make it to the point to stand up for themselves and literally find a way out of that situation.
I agree. And you know, and it doesn't have to be physical with physical, you know.
It doesn't have to be, no.
There's hotlines you can call. There's a friend you can call, say, hey, I need some help. You know, the key to this is to stand up for yourself however you can. Doesn't have to be physical, you know, verbally. Find a way out, talk to some friends, you know, call the police if you have to. Get yourself safe away from the victim or whatever the case may be, and you know, and work from there. Because you know, I've heard stories here on my show, and just stories where the victim has been so scared that they didn't want to say, they were embarrassed, you know, of what was going on, because outside the house it was a perfect family, you know, and they were afraid of what their friends or neighbors thought about their relationship or their family actually being dysfunctional, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Because we're living in a world today where image is everything, right?
Right.
Yep.
So we need to expose the truth behind the doors, like Christian was saying, right? And not saying that we're perfect, because we're not perfect, right? No relationship is perfect, but to at least come to a point where you can reason with your partner. You know, I always say that communication is a key to relationship. You know, you got to be able to sit down and conversate when there's a problem, instead of fighting and arguing or going to sleep mad. I can't go to sleep mad. You know, if my girl's mad at me, I say, listen, we got to figure this out, because you're not going to look that side, I'm going to look this side, because in the morning we're still going to be mad. Yeah. So let's reason and figure this out together as a team. So I think that has to be very big in relationships, and I think a lot of relationships are lacking communication.
Right.
It's more physical of what you see on the outside than the inside, and then you realize, wait, I got a maniac, you know, because you don't take time to know the person and spend time and see their flaws so they can see your flaws and say, you know what? I see your flaws, you see mine. I think we can work with that. We can figure a way to figure this out instead of just moving in and then everything exploding behind doors and then there's no way out.
Yeah.
Yep.
And well, and and there's something else, if you don't mind me bringing this up, Vic. But Brim, he actually plays a character in
Okay.
a role in this movie, and he is actually Christian's boss. John's the character that Christian plays. His name is John,
Okay.
and you know everybody thinks John has got this great contractual job, where he works in the office, this and that. But in real life, he works for this guy, and they're all like a major gang drug enterprise,
Oh wow.
Yeah.
so yeah, and it's like, so Brim can tell you, because this was really his first time like having a lot of lines and then really really deep diving into going into acting role, so
Yeah.
Right. So let me ask you this, Christian and Brim, same question. From being part of this film, being lead role, and Brim, you're also part of this. What have you learned from it?
I've learned to look deeper into certain things. Pay attention to more about how people react when things really aren't going their way.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you watch throughout the movie, you'll notice certain things aren't going a certain person's way. And if you notice the behaviors that come after it, so it's kind of looking for what they say, the red flags, but it's just those silent behavior changes when people get told no, or things just don't go that way.
Right. Would you say that you can apply some of these things to your personal life on what to look out for and what maybe not to do?
Oh, definitely. I'd say my mother raised a good son, so
Right. Okay.
I can't relate with this character. The only thing like how we talked about the closed doors, after taking this role, how many horror stories I've heard from women about men, and a lot of the characteristics that they're telling are explaining John to the T.
I've actually had some women talk to me about their situation with some men and thought kind of the same thing, Christian, like, wow, this guy's
it's
very narcissistic, very.
It happens a lot more than you realize.
Yeah. And I'm glad you said that, because we talk a lot about the women, right? Because basically that's mostly who it happens to, but we don't hear a lot about the men because we don't talk about it.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Because it's usually, most of the time, I think the men are dealing with the more of the mental abuse and the verbal abuse from like a narcissistic female.
Right.
As opposed to just, a lot of times I think from a situation where the man is the abuser, inevitably it ends up being physical abuse because they feel like they could, overpower them or what kind of be. But I think with the women that do abuse men, like you said, we don't, if your woman's, I feel like as a man, you get put in a situation where you're getting degraded by a female. You don't want to tell someone that, like, nah,
right.
It makes me look bad. Like, it kind of, I think from a man, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah.
From our perspective, yeah.
So I think that's why, like you mentioned, you don't hear about it as much because we don't talk about it. There's so much stuff. I think a man's just like, I'll make it through it.
Right. But you know what? A lot of the high suicides in men is because of that. you
You're
know,
right.
and we're high when it's suicides, you know, and it's a problem. And
Yeah.
but I've seen women that are physical too. That be I seen friends
Oh
of
yeah.
mine that went to work with a black eye. But like, man, how'd you get that? Man, I got into a fight. Me knowing that they're not that type of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you already read.
Right. So it does happen. Maybe not as much as men to women, but it does happen. But this is great that you guys did this, because not only you bring in something for the world to see that's happening around the world, but it also helps you guys as the creators to look at things different, you know, and maybe look at some of the red flags that you guys maybe not even notice are there, and say, wait a minute, this is happening. It's happening to me, and I don't even see it. Uh, so
Kind of like a thing of making a joke of not being good enough. How long of a joke does it actually start to stick?
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
one of those things where it might not be an issue early on, but up here, it it subconsciously sticks. You know, constant. You're not good enough. You're not good enough. Everything you do is, you know, it's a subconscious. It feeds its way in there, and once it's in there, it's
yeah,
yeah,
and it eats away on us. See, a lot of women don't know that just because we don't act on it, it means it don't hurt us. I mean, it like you said, it stays here and it eats away from us. And then, you know, they wonder why sometimes they talk to us and we don't want to talk to them. We just
yeah.
we're lost. You know, it's because we're letting all that stuff marinate. To me, marinate, right? Marinate in our heads. And I don't know why that just happened.
Yeah.
Um okay, that's fine. Anyway, it just marinated in our heads, and then you know,
Right. And
they keep pushing. Well, why you don't you want to talk to me? Well, you know, because we don't want that, right? We don't want to start any problems. We
Yeah.
just want to peace. Men want peace in their life.
Yeah.
they're right. Well, and Vic, I'm very happy that you brought that up about the mental and the emotional part of it,
Right.
because you can ask Christian and Brim that in this movie I show that part of that in this movie where there is emotional and mental abuse that
Amazing.
does happen. And, from a director and writer of the script point of view, that's kind of, it's not easier to do an action film, because in an action film, it's like, okay, I could look at Brim and be like, have someone beat up Christian,
Yeah.
and it's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
when,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Easy.
yeah, and, but like, when you have to really storytell it, and keep the audience to where they want to see, how is this getting, what's this gonna happen? It's like
Right.
the snowball effect,
Right. Yeah.
So I started from the innocence to the emotional, and I'm gonna let Brim and Christian tell y'all more about that.
Okay. So okay, Brim, for you, where do you where did you feel was the hardest part for you of the film, where you was like, man?
Well, um, just to give a quick rundown of like he said, I play his character's boss. I
Right.
play Liam, which is a pretty complex character. If you really think about it, I am the boss in basically
A
a
drug
crime,
dealer.
right? We sell drugs. The
Right. Right.
cover for me is mechanic shop, an auto
Right.
body shop. The cover
Right.
for him is that he's in construction,
Right.
and he's in
Right.
sales or whatever, something like that. So, but in the same breath, I'm also show in certain parts uh, where I have scenes where I mentioned that, John has, seems like you found a good woman, man. His wedding was beautiful, kind of thing. Like, so I also show, even though this is kind of a bad guy for what he's doing, he's also recognizing some good things, right? That you might not would hear from just some horrible crime lord, so to speak, right? Like I mentioned, oh man, you had a beautiful wedding. I think you found a good woman. It's not necessarily the typical conversation per se, even though it's a small little tidbit. Most people in crime doing horrible things, selling all these drugs to people, that's not their character.
Right.
So, and then also I recognize that there's something off with him. I have a conversation at some point, or Liam has a conversation at some point later in the movie, with his wife about John, with Megan, and so also there's a point where the character is showing compassion on top of
the fact he is who he is.
Yeah, it's a pretty, you think about it, that's a complex character.
Right.
So to show that and have it all rolled into one, I feel like was a tough character, because I mean, you think about it, this is a character that is in a position of like, I can't think of the character's name, but I mean, similar to the guy in
John
Batman,
Gotti.
You're
John Gotti.
Yeah. It's like John Gotti.
John Gotti being soft for a second.
Yeah, and
passionate.
So so then going and being the stunt coordinator for I'll say, like, climax of the film where Megan has to stand up for herself. We do have a physical scene there between the two, and having to step out of my character role and say, all right, now we're in, I'm looking at this from behind the scenes now.
Okay.
Of how can we make this happen, so I think a lot of that, I was looking at it more of how can we film this to make it look the best and look the most realistic and still fit inside of the story that he has written, so to speak, right? But then, we did do a premiere. I got to see everything together as it was pieced together, because I'm not there for a lot of the filming of the scenes, but between them throughout most of it. I didn't get to see a lot of that. I saw some of it, but not a lot of it. So I think it was not just difficult to play the character, that's a complex character, but also difficult to be there multiple days where I'm kind of doing both, right? I'm stunt coordinator this day,
next
acting
the next day,
and then another day I'm doing both
in
character, and I'm also stunt coordinator. You know what I'm saying? So so as an actor, there's different methods of acting.
Yes.
I was very impressed with Lexi, how she can just take a deep breath and, okay, let's go. And she, boom, jumps in, and then she's out.
Yeah.
Right.
Then you have the other actors that really are just, they're in character, and they're going to be in character until they're done filming that day. And they're there, right? So yeah, to kind of jump in and out of that, like was difficult for me to. Okay, I got to get back in character, because.
Give me 1 second.
Okay, no problem.
Well, and also because I know Vic is taking a break, but
Sorry.
like I can understand where Brim is coming from about switching back and forth because everybody had two jobs on at Creighton Films. Because I'm like, well, hell, if I wrote it and if I'm directing it and I was the executive producer, somebody else has got to have two jobs too. So I don't feel like I'm only.
Yeah, I can dig that. So, Christian, for you, being the lead role, growing up in a place where you was well brought up, um, what part of the film when you was filming, you said, "Man, I don't want to, but I have to." What scene did you feel that moved you the most?
It was definitely the physical.
The physical part of
Just
it.
just because of the fact that, like Brim said, Lexi is good. So during those physical moments, like I'm worried about, accidentally hurting her or anything like that. We're going through it, safety. But it was just the fact of how she played the character so well. It had me freaked out a little bit. Like, oh my God,
Right, yeah.
Oh yeah,
she
I
had
believe you, bro. I
so
was
there was a
watching.
couple of times where she accidentally, she got me. It's like, oh, it's like keep going. This is how it's supposed to be.
Right,
He's
right.
right. There was a couple times I think all of us were like, is she good? Is she okay? And she's like, yeah, I'm just acting, It's like,
That was the biggest, because I wasn't only like getting into like an aggressive character, for that day, but the fact of, all right, I have to, act like I know what I'm doing when it comes to beating, a woman, because you can't just like, it's got to be coordinated in the right way. And Brim did a fantastic job with it, especially because of, my nervousness of the accidents.
Right.
Yeah.
Alexi Becca, she's a great actress. I know her
Yeah,
from doing some past projects, and that's the great thing of being a good actor, where you can go in and out, where it's believable to you, Christian, where you think you're really hurting her, but you're not. She's in character, and and I think that's the best. You get the best out of her, and so during this film, Brim, you played a boss, but you're actually a dealer. Christian is also a dealer, right?
Yes, he works
but
for
he's
me.
having he's having problems at home.
Yeah,
Okay.
he works for me. He makes sales for me. I'm kind of like, the boss in terms of these people, these clients come to me, and they want their shipments,
right?
So he's the guy that goes and makes sure that shipments are delivered where they need to be, and he's good at getting new clients and things. He's like the top seller for me, is our relationship. But I've like known him for a long time. I've known him for like 20 years. Since he was like young. So it's a relationship where I know when something's off with him. And so I realize that something's off with him. And I even mentioned, I think at one point you'll hear a line where I mentioned something to him along the lines of, I know how you are. I know you worry about things. You get paranoid. I think I say something like that.
Yeah.
And it's, in a way, I think it's one of those little things in the movie that is it's almost like a little tip off. If you watch the movie, but then you go back and watch it again, I think you'll see those little things like that. Because I think the film as a whole, not just me and his relationship, but the relationship with John and Megan, and just everyone throughout, I think it's a good flow of, like he said, the snowball effect. Things grow bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier about the different ways of finding a way out. The character really goes through, Megan goes through a lot of stages of trying to reach out to people, if that makes sense. You know, she really takes those steps. I think this movie really shows that really well.
Right.
Throughout the course, it really builds to that climax. It really builds well of different things emotionally and physically to get to that point. I think the whole thing really builds with each relationship, whether it's, like I said, you know, the John's character and Megan's relationship, his and mine. Just, I think the whole thing builds. Even her and her friends' conversations, the way those conversations go, really build. Everything escalates throughout, and just to me, a very realistic way. And it's really awesome.
Yay!
So-
That makes me feel good.
So, do you guys have a trailer to this or not yet?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's we do have it. We got a teaser trailer. I know I've made 2 other trailers.
back.
Yeah.
Okay,
I know I've made 2 other trailers, and the official trailer is out. I'm waiting for the distributor to send me the link. You know.
Oh, okay. So, because I'm trying to see if I find it so I can play it.
Oh, actually, if you go on YouTube,
Yep. Is it a Way Out movie trailer or what?
yeah, a Way
Okay,
Out movie trailer. Yeah.
Okay, hold on a second. Okay, so I have one here. Teach and students are aligned by a usual guest, inspired by true events. Away. Hold on a second. I do have one here, but it looks like they look like cartoons.
No, that ain't it.
Yeah. Hold on, let me see.
And a lot of times, if if you put A Way Out and then Creighton Films, that might narrow the search.
I have one says, no, it's A Way Out, full game movie, Way Out. I don't know why it's giving me like the gaming, like games.
Oh, right. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I put A Way Out movie trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not giving me.
Try A Way Out, Creighton Hobbs, because I think there is a thing called A Way Out.
A Way Out. Okay, hold on.
I had to go plug my phone in. I had to get the little trooper to run me my charger.
Okay, A Way Out, Cragston Hobbs.
Creighton Hobbs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's not giving me. It's not popping up. That's weird.
Yeah.
But anyway, I wanted to play it, but it's not giving me the
films.
It's not showing up. But yeah, so and when is this movie being released, if you guys know?
Well, right now it has been released on a platform, the distributors platform. You know, they have their own thing where for like people who don't have Amazon Prime or that kind of stuff, it's like okay, you can go here. And let's see, it's out there, and I think now don't I'm not promising, but maybe in about 2 to 4 weeks. I'm going to say 2 to 4 weeks because I don't want to be in trouble, by anybody or somebody angry with me. It's like, I thought you said no. I said 2 or 4 weeks. It should be out on like maybe Amazon and
Oh, that's
YouTube
great.
movies, that or something like that. But the best way for people to keep up with us and find out when it's released is on our Facebook page,
Okay.
which is A Way Out. I think it's A Way Out movie or A Way Out, and then also on our website, which is awayoutmovie.com.
Yeah.
And ain't that right, Christian?
Yeah, the Facebook page is just A Way Out, and I think it's all lowercase.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Christian, is this your first film?
It is. It
Wow.
is.
What a way, Cragston, to start off Christian with a film like this.
He called it range.
Uh-huh.
He was like, you got the range for it. You're teachable. So
Okay. Good. That's great. And Brims, is this your first?
This would be, I guess, it was my second when I started it. During filming of this, I actually got a short role in another film as well. So I guess technically this would be my third, however you want to say it.
Yeah.
So third film.
Right. So Christian, for this type of film to be your first film, how do you feel?
I feel pretty good about it. It was a definite challenge, and I wasn't backing up from it. So
Right.
if I had to go out to Creighton's to work on it and practice it, that's what we were doing. If I had like, hey, I'm having this image go through my head on this scene, we'd meet up and we'd go through it all. And
good. What did you? How did you prepare yourself for reading the script or to actually do your lines? How do you prepare yourself for that?
I was looking, because my character's really out there. You do see the mental battle with them.
Mm-hmm.
So I was looking at it as, like intrusive thoughts when I was reading the script. So it was like, this man is crazy.
Only Cragston can write something like that.
And then Creighton gave me a couple movies to like watch over just to get like a feel on like, like how those types of characters do react.
Yeah.
I think one of the movies that I got, I think it was, what was it? Fear or something by Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
I was like, so I watched that a couple times. I was like, okay, I kind of get, the snap,
Right.
like it's
because I sent you a link to
and it was kind of hard to get into it, but when we were filming, everything was just fitting so well. So like the work that me and Creighton put in, like the 4 or 5 times between each film session, there was major improvements on just the confidence of it, just because of the fact that, like I said, like when I first got it, I was like, I don't know, like
yeah.
This is it was a tough one, especially just reading it.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's always good to have. For me, a lot of people don't like the writers to be on set, but I like the writers to be on set because it's their vision. It's their vision. So
Very true. Yeah.
you being a lead role, when Hobbs gives you the script, you read it and you create that character, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then when you come on set and it says action and you start to put that character that you created in your mind, Hobbs might say, that's not the character I seen. Let's stop it. Okay, do it like this. Change this up a little bit. So, which helps because sometimes people get roles, right? Here's a role, and you create that character in your mind, which you think is okay, but the writer is looking at the character in a different way. So it's always good to connect with the writer.
It does matter because of how the story is told.
Yeah.
Right. But sometimes you might portray the story in a different, even though it's the same written, you might portray it in a different way when the writer sees it this way, in a different way. So it's always good. I like when the writers are on set because I say, hey, this is my character. Let me just run a quick run through you, and you see my character to see if that's the character that you see. And I do my role, and if he says good, then we good. If he says no, you need to be a little more aggressive, you need to be more calm, or you need to whatever, then I adjust.
Sinister.
Right, you adjust it. So
there was a couple of times where they were like, do the look, and I didn't know what look they were talking about. They were just letting me know, like, all right, got it, good. So that was one of the things me and Creighton were practicing, were like the facial expression.
Yes, because
I'm not generally an angry person, so
right.
Having the exhale of all your breath and just go into a rage moment was
every role that you read, it has a different expression. And so you got to know when to bring that expression out, when to smile, when not to smile, when maybe all your role is just lifting up your eyebrow.
Right.
So every little thing counts. So, and that's what I've learned as an actor myself is to know when you read a certain line, and then you put that line in your head and say, okay, how would I act that role?
Right.
How would I do this line? Would I lift my eyebrow when she says, hey, honey, what was you doing at the bar? And you turn your face and you go,
right. Yeah.
All that.
It's and I'm telling you, with the cast and crew that worked on this movie, A Way Out, I mean, they're so done. They're so good, all of them. I mean, like we would do a take, and I would be like, "You want to do another one for the hell of it?" It was that good, And they would, sure, we're here. Why not?
That's awesome. I love it. Yeah. So, Briston, you coordinated. You played a role. What was your view at the end of the film when this was all put together? What did you say to yourself about the film?
Like when we actually got to see the movie in the premiere? Oh man. It was really just a feeling like wow, we did it. Like we accomplished the goal that we set out to make this movie with a powerful message. And like the way I like to describe it is, it's a cinematic take on domestic violence, but it's still a very good take on it. That's very just descriptive of what someone might actually go through in a real life scenario.
Right.
It seemed very realistic, and I was like, hey, that's perfect. Like that's what we were going for, because that's the most powerful way to reach people, right? When they themselves are not experiencing it, right? Obviously, experience is the best teacher. Well, hopefully, people are not going to experience that to learn it, right?
Right.
But by seeing something like that is so realistic, hopefully it would spread that message, So that was my take. Is like, wow, it turned out so good. Was my thought, was like it was
it did what it was supposed to do.
And it was impressive to me, even though I worked on it, right? It was seeing certain scenes that I did get to see of Lexi and Christian, right? How they were shot, and the facial expressions being behind the camera on a couple of scenes with them, and then seeing how it came out on film after it was edited and pieced together and everything was pretty. It was pretty cool.
Pretty damn good. So
because on my other projects, my very first film was Blinded by Tragedy with Creighton. Much less of a role in terms of, not many lines, mainly there as a henchman to do some fighting and some stunts, didn't get to see much of anything else really being filmed.
Right.
Or do any behind the camera stuff or nothing like that, so, was less involved, I guess you would say, just as a whole. It's like, I'm, here to do my thing and
that's that.
make sure I do my best job to do my thing,
Right.
So it was much more involved with this one. Yeah. And likewise, like the other part that I did in another film was just, I was on a set for one day for that film, and when it came time for me to do my thing, it was done in 15 minutes. Shot one scene in it,
Yeah.
So I don't. So those two projects wasn't nearly as involved.
Yeah.
So,
Brim was like calling me on the way back from Louisiana, and he was like, "Man, I was in and out in one day," and I was like, "I know it's not like working with me, is it? I keep bringing you back,
But it was cool though. It was, Each experience I've done has been a learning experience in terms of film in itself, right? Learning how he does things when you're on set with Creighton, and then getting an opportunity, not only that, but just the difference in the first time with him that I did something as opposed to how things were done this way. He even made little changes here of where he's like, I want to improve this. And then being on that set with those people and their crew was a different experience.
Yes.
Felt like I've learned a lot though about film in general, and just how some of the things come together. So most of my acting experience, I guess you would say, comes from wrestling, right?
Wrestling,
which is physical acting. I've been doing that for 11 years. So I'm used to performing in front of people. I'm used to having a certain level of
audiences
acting, right? But it's a different kind of acting. I've basically played the same character, had character development over the years, but I've basically played this character that I sort of created on my own in wrestling, right? So to be Brimstone comes much more naturally and easier than playing the a role that, okay, I've got this part in this movie now, and this is different, so
it's a different it's a different approach. Christian, when you saw yourself for the first time, and I don't know if you saw it, but if you did, when you saw yourself playing this character, from my view, and you're looking in, what did you say to yourself?
Well, I was looking at it for, like a challenge to something new. So I was like, that was a job well done. Plus, I was sitting to a couple people who were like, like, get him. So I was just, I was like making faces and stuff like, how what? So it was real good to see, especially like the people I was sitting with, they didn't like John. So it was one of those, like, like Brimstone said, we did it, and like the message got across, and Like I can't say I have stage fright anymore. Job, it's done.
It's done. Yeah.
Helps with that, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. I think
I really thought being in front of the camera was going to be a lot more difficult than what it was.
right.
Honestly, but that came, I want to say, like first take, two takes. Me and Creighton, we worked on a film that got delayed from the writer. Uh, so I did get a couple in front of camera experiences through that before this too. So
Right.
that got the bearings, you know.
Yeah.
So it was. I felt good about the whole thing, especially because I've only seen it like from Creighton's perspective, and I would give Creighton some props. That man
Right.
can work long hours and keep on going.
Yes, he can.
You know,
So it was a learning experience. Like I was like the whole year, just of all the experience and knowledge from everybody on the cast was phenomenal. It was and to see it in film in the movie theater be as full as it was. I think we only had like 6 seats, like the very very front row. That wasn't, but
wow.
it was, it was
Beautiful. That's good.
yeah.
You know, and you're only going to get better, when you go on sets and you're working with other actors that have more experience than you pick up on certain things that they do,
Mm-hmm.
and which makes you as an actor better. So when you say, whenever you play a role like their role, you be like, you know what, I'm gonna play this role just like Brent played it in
Yeah.
whatever movie. I like the way he played that character, and I want to play just like it. So you learn from that. I'm a on man. I'm on site thing. That's how I get better. Versus you trying to teach me. No, let me see how it's done. What character he playing a gangster? I'm gonna see how he play his gangster. And if he plays him like, when I play a gangster, I'm gonna play it just like he played it.
Yeah.
If I get that role, and so you start picking up things from different people, and you adapt to that, and you put it into yourself, and you become unique. You become unique.
Yeah.
And
And
Lexi was very helpful with
Yes.
she
some
was.
of it too. She had a lot of advice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lexi she's a pro, man.
Yeah.
She's a pro.
Yeah. I can't wait.
I feel like everyone did a great job on the film, but I really feel like Creighton being able to cast her in this film made a remarkable difference in the quality of the film. 100%. I really do.
Yeah.
She nailed that part, and I think everyone around her did better because she brought such a high level of experience to the table.
Right.
And just a high level of capability to the table that I think everyone kind of fed off of her.
Good.
Yeah.
Basically saying
of her energy, out of her.
Yeah, like hey, we have to
bring the
make
game
sure
on.
our game is on point.
Yeah.
Because she's good enough to where, I mean, if you're not careful, you could really see that talent gap. You're right, but she was so good. Like he said, I wasn't there for a lot of it, but she definitely was feeding advice to Christian. Even the takes I was there. Let's try this. Let's do it this way. What do you think? Like, she's a pro.
Yeah.
Total pro. I was very impressed. impressed.
And that's the way I think that when two characters are going to play together, they should spend as much time as they can to figure out how they're going to make that scene or those scenes, come to play.
Right.
And
well, and I'll tell you, Don, like, I've been around those big sets, the Hollywood sets, and that kind of thing, and if I'm being totally honest, I hated it. I didn't like it. It was like you're a number. You know, it's kind of like
Yeah,
people that
yes,
work at Disney World.
yeah,
They're
yes.
like, yeah, this is my employee number, and that's what I am today. Let's go work, you know, and it's
You're
like
right.
that's what. But you know, when you're on my set, I've always said, because I've been around that corporate Hollywood machine, right?
Yes. Mhm.
I said, no, I want this to be a family. I want this to be all of us. If you're
Yes.
on set, we're going to work together. We're going to laugh. We're going to cut
Mhm.
up. We're going to make the best memories because, you know, I truly believe this. You only live one life, right?
That's right.
So if you can't make a movie and not have fun with it, then
Yeah,
what in the hell are you doing in this business?
that's right.
You know, I mean, it's like, so,
Agreed.
yeah.
That's why I love indie films because you know, um, you just don't build a movie
Right.
or you just don't create a movie. You create a family, you know, a bond with your actors, with your friends, and everybody starts to grow together and become better together, you know. And for me, I did a few films in Las Vegas, you know, in places, and those people are my family.
Yeah.
You know, when they go shoot a movie, they think they say, "Hey, we got this role. You want to play it?" You know, and doors start to open. And
Yeah.
but the friendship that I create with
Yeah.
everyone I've met and the love that we have, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It brings the best out of me as an actor when I go on set.
Mhm.
I'm ready to rock and roll. Like I'm not timid. My, I don't got butterflies in my stomach like Christian had when he started. You
Yeah.
know, like
Yeah.
nervous. Like you know, I'm ready to go. Like
Yeah.
let's
That's
do it.
right.
You know,
Hey,
and
I got to say though, I got to give Christian a lot of props.
Yeah.
yes,
You know, he played a tough character
yeah,
that is obviously total opposite of who he is.
Mhm.
right.
You
It's hard.
know, and I think he killed it.
Yeah.
I
But
do.
I can't wait to see it. I want to
Hey,
I want to see it.
check your
Message.
messenger.
Oh yeah. Check your message.
I
Okay.
did find a trailer
You didn't find the
of the
trailer.
film and sent you something on Messenger. It may
Okay.
come up in your spam or something. I'm not sure, but I did send you a message.
Christian, you got any light?
Light? No.
Yeah.
It's getting dark,
Christian's
brother.
outside.
I know,
Christian,
man. You starting to look like you filming John, man. It's just like
you
you
feel
starting to
it in
wicked
the
act.
dark. No, it's fine. You know, so it's amazing. You know how you guys, you know, put this together. And Alexi Baka, she's amazing. Um, you had a great actor there. You know, she brought the game up for you guys,
Mm.
and she made sure that you know what she didn't. But you know,
Yeah.
you as an actor brought your game up, and you wanted
Yeah.
to make the best of it. Um,
Yeah.
so that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Um, that someone can have that type of um how do you say it that type of game plan and bring it to a set where it's bringing everyone's level, even the ones that first starting,
Yeah.
to a level that they don't even know they got.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
100%,
Yeah. Yeah. I
yeah,
mean, it's you know, like with Chris, you know, as someone who's done making movies for many, many moons, not giving away my age, but just a lot of
yeah,
moons in my life,
mhm,
making
yeah,
these movies. Um, you know, I've always said your thing that you're gonna get is at the premiere, not the before the movie, not the after part, but during the movie. When you me, I've always listened to the crowd. I don't look at them, I listen. And when I hear the crowd yelling, you know, like, Lexi, kick his ass, and they're like,
he did a good job. He did
yeah,
a good
I'm like,
job.
Yeah, you
they
hear.
did it,
It's,
everybody, we nailed it.
it's yeah, you listen for that reaction,
Yeah.
which is, I mean, is that not a wrestling thing?
Yes.
Yeah,
It's
it
a
is.
wrestling
Yeah,
thing, you know?
it is.
Years ago, he was involved in the wrestling business years ago. So he knows what I'm saying. That's kind of what we do when we're in front of a live audience. Obviously, the entire purpose of what we're doing with our physical portrayals and athletic performances is to incite a reaction from that crowd. So just like he said, we're in the theater watching this film, and you can hear the reaction from people. Some, maybe it's a gasp, that you hear from the audience or whatever, and it's reaching them, the point's getting across.
Yeah. And these are topics that like we were talking earlier, that I like to movies like that. And I like to talk about it here on my show. I've had a couple women that came on the show that have been through domestic violence and actually made it alive,
Right.
But the stories I've heard were like you know jaw dropping, like my chin, I'm like, what? And they made it through. So,
And brother, I know totally what you mean, because, before I really started writing it, I research. I research. I mean, I fill my head with factual knowledge, and I talk to people, things like that. And then once I know I got my facts straight, then I feel comfortable writing. And then I write the movie that's inspired by these true events. And it was very much after the premiere, and it was one of Christian's relatives, and I think it was 3 other women as well that was there. One of them I knew. No, 2 of them I knew, and the other one I had no idea who she was. But they all came up and hugged me, and they were crying, and they said, amazing. "Creighton, you nailed it. You absolutely nailed this movie." And I was like, "Wow!" To me, and I think for the whole cast and crew who's worked on this film, my film family, to me that is more rewarding to y'all than any golden, statue award or some kind of plaque from a film festival and the Prague. You know what I mean? That's like you pay $20 to win a film festival. What? Honestly, if I can hear that human reaction that says that was a good movie, that touched my heart. I'll take that. I'll take that.
Anytime, and that's what we're trying to do as well, with our films, is to be able to touch people, bring truthful to the world, things that really do happen behind scenes, or just people that could see it and turn their faces and act like it's not happening. So it's not easy to write a script or write a story, especially when you're creating it versus you reading a book. You read a book and you read it, everything's in the book, so you can get everything you need and put it to life, versus you talking to people, hearing about this, hearing about that. Now you got to sit back, analyze all that, and create it. That's hard to do. Just being creative. And I haven't seen this movie yet, but from when you guys are telling me, I can't wait to watch it. I'm sure Christian did a phenomenal job, being his first film. And you guys as well. And I'll try to promote it as much as I can, on my page and stuff like that.
That'd be really awesome.
Yeah. And right. And the thing with me is, like, I like to, and it, Craig, because I'm like this. I like to introduce other directors to directors.
Sure.
Because you never know what they can come up with. Because directors are creators, and And when you put directors together in a circle, you don't know what you're going to come up with.
You're going to hear some weird ass stuff.
You know what I'm saying? So
Well, I mean,
it's always
opens
good.
the door, though, in some occasions, was things like that. When you have those creators come together, sometimes you end up having really nice collaborations.
Yep.
You know,
Yes.
you know, like you said, a lot of times those directors are also producers. A lot of times they're also writers. So opening doors like that in the independent film industry is huge.
Mm-hmm.
It's huge because more people coming together means more ideas,
Yep.
More ideas,
more
jobs, more actors,
more pieces of financial support here and there coming together to make things happen.
To make it happen.
That's awesome.
And that's what I like to do. And and introducing people, because I met you guys there. You never know. I might have an open role that I might think Kristen could play, or you, Rushman, can play. And I say, hey, Hobbs, I think I got a role here. I think Kristen or Hobbs can play. Reach out to them, see if they want to be a part of this film. And then it goes on to other filmmakers that you might have the look, you might have the height, you might have the beard, anything. You never know what a director's looking for, right? Yeah. For me, it's hard because I got this look and I can't change this look for nothing. I get the bad roles, the bad guy, the killer. Like that's the role I get. I can't be I can't be a father. I can't be a grandfather. I get the biker roles. Those type of roles. But
hey, everybody's got their wheelhouse though that they fall into. That's okay.
Yeah,
that's okay,
but if but you, Brim, you got that biker look.
Right.
If I was to say, I need more like an office type of guy, I can say, well, we can cut his hair, slice him over, trim his beard, and he'll look like an office.
Yeah,
Put
this can shade, it'll grow back. The hair can be changed. There's
exactly. But I don't have that unless I put on a wig.
Right.
And Christian too. Christian got that look that he can play certain different characters.
Yeah.
So that's why I love to bring people on my show.
He's younger too, so he's got a larger window to play around with too.
Yeah, he does. He does. I look at Christian and he reminds me of what's that a biker thing? Narcardi? What's that? The biker. Jesus, not city of anarchy, something like that. Anarchies.
Anarchy.
What is it?
I think the Sons of Anarchy.
Yes, you remind me of the son of the
Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, Sons of Anarchy. Yeah, I can see him playing one of those roles.
I can see both of them playing it.
Edge Rich. Yeah, we can all play. So, anything else you guys want to?
Christian kind of reminds me of an actor. I can't remember his name, but there's a movie. It's a horror film called The Conjuring.
Okay.
The father in The Conjuring. Do you know what I'm talking about? The father in The Conjuring. He's like a truck driver.
I didn't see that movie.
He looks so much like that guy.
Who?
I can't remember his name, but if you get a chance to go look at that film and look at that guy, I was like, man, they look like they could be related.
Who? Christian and the guy?
Yeah. Christian, like to me, reminds me of that guy so much.
Yeah, he got that look.
Think about that.
Go check that movie out. Yeah, The Conjuring, and
turn all the lights on when you watch it.
Hey, even that movie. Is it called Road Dogs? Where they from Europe? They're two brothers. They become like drug dealers and they look like twins. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know.
Road Dogs, is it? Road Dogs or Mad Dog?
Mad Dog.
Christian looked like one of the guys.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
right, yeah.
Might
Right.
be a guy. I
Might
don't,
be, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, he got that that I don't know. He got an accent, but I don't know if he's from British or
I'm from South
I
Mississippi.
haven't seen that one.
he said I'm from South Mississippi.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm from
Yeah.
right in South Alabama, and
Okay.
I don't have near about as much of an accent as most people around here do.
Yeah,
I've even had a lot of people from around here ask me if I'm not from around here. I'm like,
yeah.
"Oh, I'm born and raised here." But,
Oh
so,
boy, that's
I don't always
awesome.
mean anything.
You know who I met from out there. I think she's from Mississippi or Tennessee. Or Alabama. I forgot one of those three, but the aunt of the singers that they crashed in an airplane. I think it was in the
Girls or something like that. No, the Destiny's Child.
1978. They crashed. They were on the plane.
Leonard
They
Skinner.
were called the Skinners.
Yeah, Leonard Skinner.
Leonard Skinners. I met. She was on my show. She's amazing. I love her to death.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Alabama. They're from
Alabama. Yeah.
Yeah.
She it was so funny because she's like, I need you to come. She had an accent. She said, you need you to come out here in Alabama, hang out with me. I said, I don't think you want me in Alabama. I said, I don't think that's a good place for me to be. She said, oh, you'll be fine.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. It's not.
So
It's
she
not
showed me-
what the
she showed-
stereotype says it
She
is.
showed me a live of where she's at, and she's
Oh.
like in the woods, like in a cabin. I said, "Oh no, you can see the rifles hanging next to the door." I said, "You're not having me up there, you're not."
I'll have to pass on that. I really appreciate
Oh
it.
yeah. She
If you
started
come
laughing.
here, if you come here, what you'd really love is the beaches.
Yeah. The
Beaches,
beach.
really.
Here in Alabama, Dolphin Island and Gulf Shores
Nice.
and Orange Beach, man, nice white sandy beaches.
Nice.
Very nice.
That's awesome.
I've been to beaches in Costa Rica.
Oh really? Oh yeah.
Although they are beautiful,
Mhm.
it's not sand
Right.
on their shoreline. It's tiny shells.
Shells
All
or rocks,
shells.
little rocks and
So
stuff. like
you can't go out there barefoot.
that.
You have to wear some type of
Sandals or something.
like truthfully what you need is like the shoes, the beach shoes that actually
Yeah.
covers your foot.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
even with the like sandals or flip flops, they'll get up under your foot.
Mm.
And in the water, it's like immediately deep. There's no wading in the water. It's big waves, and if you're going to get in the water, it's to go swim.
Right.
It's not to go wade around in the water. The beaches here in South Alabama, and that goes along the panhandle of Florida.
Wow.
All of that is white sandy beaches.
That's awesome.
Some places, man, you can go out in some places 40 to 50 feet and still be anywhere
Still.
from knee to waist height.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that sounds like
There's-
my island.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a lot of nice places along the beach here, South Alabama and Florida Panhandle. So if you ever do come this way, that's places you need
yeah.
to go.
Yeah. I got some friends of mine that they're from Tennessee. They singers, the Hammond brothers,
Mhm.
and they be up Alabama a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but you never know. One day I might just say, hey guys, I'm coming up that way.
Hey.
Let the
Yes, sir.
folks know. Let the neighborhood know, ballhead. I'm coming through. Okay. I don't want no
Well,
problems.
Where are you located?
I'm in Boston.
You're in Boston? Okay.
Yeah.
My father-in-law is from Boston, so
Oh, okay.
and they live down here. So you're
Look at Christian. Christian's like, I'm not too sure about keeping you safe.
I'm watching my daughter's sitting there screaming on the swing set. She's sitting there trying to touch the light.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen you. Yeah, I've seen you.
Well, it's been fun having you guys here. You guys are welcome here. You guys are family. Anytime you guys want to come here, you're more than welcome. It doesn't have to be about movies. It could be anything that you might want to talk about, anything personal, whatever any message you let me know. We'll bring you here. We'll talk about it. let everyone know where they can watch the movie or when it's dropping.
Um, Give us about 2 to 4 weeks, but in the meantime, if you don't want to wait for it to come out like on Amazon or something like that, check our Facebook page. Uh, and Christian, I'll let you tell all that because you're good at it.
The Facebook page is A Way Out, all lowercase, no spaces. And then the website is awayoutmovie.com.
That's excellent. Yay.
There you go.
And that's all you got to do is go to where Christian said, and we will have it all updated and right there for you to watch and keep up with us and, that kind of thing.
And like,
Okay,
like he said, within 2 to 4 weeks, it should be out on Amazon. You'll be able to watch there.
And, yeah. And, oh, yeah, Don.
Oh, yes.
There's one question, and I'm very thankful that you didn't ask this, but I always get asked. They're like, "So what are you doing next, Creighton?"
Oh no.
No. I'm like, that's wonderful. I get.
So what's next?
Hey,
what's next?
All right. So, in a couple of weeks, Creighton Films will be dropping an app that will be available on Roku.
Okay.
Where we'll have video footage for you to watch for free. Like we've already got, in the working of it, a little over 2.5 hours of video that we're putting more up. Okay. So that's something in a couple of weeks. But as a movie wise, we are in probably in a couple months, we're going to get started up with fundraising for our new film. And we're calling it Silent Auction.
Silent Auction.
Mm-hmm. And it's going to be about human trafficking.
It's funny. I would just had my previous guest. His movie's about domestic and human trafficking. Yeah. June DeGee. So he's from Virginia. Mm-hmm. I played in like 3 of his films already, where I played again the bad guy. Right?
You're right.
I played the bad guy, but
just because you are a bad guy does not mean you are a bad guy.
Exactly. So that's great. That's great. I want to know more about it. When you're ready, you want to promote it, you let me know. You come on the show and we'll talk about it and promote it some more. But for Christian, it was a pleasure meeting you.
You as well,
Christian as well. Great, and you're my brother for life. You're welcome here anytime.
Thank you.
If there's anything I can do, just let me know and we'll do it. And you guys have a good night. And I'll see you guys. And I can see you guys soon.
All right.
All right, brother.
Okay.
All right, man. All righty. Bye-bye.
Bye. Yes, folks, that was Cragston Hobbs, Christian, Florida, and Brush Stone. Amazing guys. That's what it's all about, creating great projects. It's A Way Out. You can find it on Facebook or awayout.com. Make sure you check them out. It is a movie about domestic violence. There's always a message behind this. And I want to thank you guys for tuning in and supporting them, supporting the show. Thank you guys so much. I do want to say that I might have one more show to do maybe in a couple weeks. Then after that, I will shut down the show for, I don't know, maybe a month or 2 due to my moving to another location. So I will probably be out from the show, but I will be doing lives on my phone. Not sure I won't be doing any interviews, but I will be live on my phone, just kind of give you guys an update. As soon as I get situated and find another location, I'll bring the show back up and I'll bring some more guests here on the show. So I'm not sure if this is my last show or maybe have one more and then I'll be off the grid for a while. But I'll keep you guys posted, and I want to thank you guys for supporting me, supporting my guests. Thank you guys for everything. You guys do it for sharing and posting some of my stuff. You guys can follow me on my YouTube page, the Don Big Show chat room. You can post any movie, anything that you have that you want to promote on that page. But I will be MIA for a while. Okay. But I'll keep you guys posted. Okay. So not sure if this is my last show, but I'll let you guys know on my phone, or I might have one more show to go, and then I'll shut down the grid for a while. So thank you guys for tuning in. Love you guys. You know, it's me, your boy Don Vic. Peace, love, respect. Stay focused, stay out the way. And I'll see you guys next time. I'm out of here. Peace.